boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? What's it saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game, but what said that you claim it? It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game, but what said that you claim it?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Now, we are right back at it, and I got to give a shout out to T with the $20 super chat because we in here. Blessings. On everything I love, man. On everything I love. We got to talk about it. Now, some people may not address it. Some people may run from it. Some people may dodge that smoke. I got a lot of idiots tagging me on Twitter talking about, am I going to address it? Obviously, you got to be a fool because you don't understand. Iron Lords addressed that immediately yesterday. We were sitting on that information for a couple of days, and we couldn't talk, for lack of a better word. We couldn't talk about it as far as when we got the information on what it was. And but we made sure that we was live when it went up, and boom shakalaka, I have that conversation with you. So again, seeing these things, I want to know how many people think they lost their damn mind. Now, there's groups of individuals that feel one way, and there's groups of individuals that feel another way. And I listen, I told you I'm a man of the people that heard me. So when I talk to people, my DMs are open. Right? It's not anything. I'm not greater than you or anything of that nature. That's not even an issue. So I openly have conversations with people. I see a lot of people canceling this. That $10 did something. It did what? We're gonna talk about the cancellations, right? We're gonna talk about the people mass cancellations. Now, mass cancellations and dudes are trying to cancel, and I saw that they were getting like loading. You know how when you try to cancel something and it's tons of subscriptions. It was like when I was trying to cancel my gym membership because we have moved from a location, and getting to that gym. The only reason why I paid for that gym and was at that gym was because it was convenient for me, right? And when it no longer was convenient for me, then I decided to cancel my subscription to my gym membership, and the level of hoops that they had to give me. The same thing with my pet insurance. When I was changing my pet insurance to a more feasible plan that worked for me, and I'm trying to get out of it, they was trying to give me all these extra charges that I felt was unnecessary, right? So they do things to kind of trap you in. But dudes was showing me that like it was spinning, like it was like loading or something like that, and they got a screen or something weird. And of course, Xbox wanted to spin it in a way that, or Microsoft wanted to spin it in a way that made it seem like you as a consumer. And I want everybody in here to share this out because what they like to say is us Xbox dudes don't keep it real, especially individuals like myself. They try to say like an individual like myself because they think that I'm a corporate shill for Microsoft. No, I'm a I'm an influencer slash content creator slash journalist. Journalist loosely, more of a provocateur. Um, journalist loosely, and they feel that we don't give them smoke because they feel that we're on the take. And a lot of times, being on the take could be summed up as a couple of things: having access to stuff. Because I see a lot of people that are upset with the level of people's access to certain individuals. And you see pictures of me and the team floating around with the highest level of Xbox execs that's out there and some Microsoft execs. And, a lot's been made of lunches and stuff like that. And, so, of course, if one's left up to their own devices, they're going to assume things. But in your assumptions, you'll be wrong. I'm the man of the people. I'm the people's champ. I'm that individual that, regardless to what, I'm going to say what needs to be said when I want to say it, regardless of how somebody feels about it, and respectfully. Like you saw how I addressed the old boy who felt that it was a need for him to explain to somebody, and you don't know if he's talking to a little kid, how their console is dead. So you saw how I respectfully answered that and talked about that and tried to get to that. But respectfully, I'm going to respect the consumer's wallet. Now, there's a yin and yang for everything. I already told you that. I told you that regardless to whatever you guys believe or feel, at the end of the day, keep in mind the more successful that any of these entities are, the more money that they're going to want. It is the idea of Pac Man. They're never satiated, the game never stops, and they're always eating. And those Pac Man dots is your money. You have to really look at it in that nature. The FTC is the ghost. The CMA is the ghost. Sometimes they get them, sometimes they don't. But we are the dots. Our wallets is the dots, boy. Waka 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 waka. Facts on that. Facts on that. This whole time I've been watching what is it, Game Shack. I love their content. They show a ton of retro stuff, games. I didn't know Neo Geo did a Shinobi. I gotta go look that up. I gotta figure that out. I never knew that. I never knew they did an arcade accurate Shinobi. But knowing a lot of things that I do know because people are in my DMs and they're kind of scared, right? As far as when will it end? We did hear words and conversations early on in the year about uh Game Pass having another price hike. And I forgot who brought that up. I don't remember if it was Nate the Hate or somebody else. Paul Brule or whoever. That around September, Xbox was going to have another price hike when it came to Game Pass. And I at that time, I really didn't believe that it would be true because of all the vitriol they got when they tried to raise the prices, when they tried to anything they tried to do, they got a lot of pushback on. And they were never in a position of power. He said Xbox 30 for 30. Yo, you are wild crazy for that. That see, I don't have Attic making my thumbnails, so a lot of the thumbnails that you see, dudes don't be knowing that I'm live. I'm going to be live. I'm not gonna cut a video that takes me 4 or 5 hours to cut a video because when I'm at home, I have all my assets. I have everything that I'm able to use and I'm able to work from here. From here, I'm able to go live, I'm able to do some stuff, but I would rather go live because a lot of the stuff is astounding. It's astounding. What what I feel with the Game Pass thing that I was in disbelief that they was going to raise it, but as a company, I want to ask you as a company, right? And this is as a company, and I want you to take off your hat as a consumer for a second. As a company, good, cancel, Mo, cancel. I'm not telling nobody not to cancel. If you want to cancel anything, go cancel it. Um, as a company, when is your best time to make a move? Your best time to make a move is when you have the most to offer. Now, I seen GameStop come out and say something like 29.99 and you own nothing. Buy one game and you own it for life. Kanata Wilson with the $7 super chat. Xbox is now a luxury brand on everything. On everything. Y'all saw those Louis Vuitton bags and them Gucci bags that I posted? I think I got to do a whatchamacallit for that so y'all can see it. What the hell is that? That's crazy. I didn't know the 32X had a golden axe. Um, I'm not gonna begrudge you for canceling, but as a company, and I want you to really think about it. As a company, when is the best time for you to make that move? When you have the most leverage. Everybody was hailing how much the Xbox ROG Ally and the Xbox ROG Ally X sold because the numbers is good. Everything that I'm hearing, and I'm coming in nice and loud, right? I fixed it. Yo, check it out. So on my HyperX mic, it's a dial in the bottom, and I must have had hit the dial in some form or fashion. This is the quad mic. Shout out to HyperX and HP Omen for being a sponsor. And now I hear a lot of people saying $25 is it was their good cap number. Remember when they sold all those units? Those units are on pre-order. What does that hybrid PC slash Xbox console look like? Because when you're starting to meld the worlds, you got to take PC Game Pass and you got to get it into Game Pass and you got to take that loss because PC Game Pass is no longer the attractive girl in the room when it comes to the PC nation, right? It's no longer the eye candy, if you will. Shout out to Fia Marie. 22 pounds, 22.5 pounds in the UK, 15 pounds in the UK. That's hold on. Sharing it out right now. Um um a luxury item. You got to really think about this. So You think them melding those worlds together, you think that was going to be of no cost? You think, because I was mad at with Game Pass early on, and I'm not going to hold you. A lot of those games that was coming up on PC wasn't available to us, like for console. So when you're thinking about it, it not being available for console made it situation because it kind of divided the waters, right? It was always PC Game Pass, console Game Pass, and never should those two intertwine. You don't remember early on, I would have somebody that would comment and they would joke all the time and they would clown talking about I got your girl king and she costs me $9.99 where I got to pay X amount of dollars, and that was the ongoing gag. The PC guys was like, we get everything that you guys get and we get it for this price. You remember that? You remember me trying or having some weird energy to try to defend something that's indefensible? And we always gave Xbox the leniency because we felt that the PC market was so hard to break into because of Steam. And the moment that I realized that they would have other storefronts on their device, I said, "Oh, they didn't say we have to beat them. They said that we could just join them." What does that mean? Does that mean that they care about the PC market? Because listen, that device is coming over, right? You already the device is already here. The device is already manufactured, shipped, and is going to be distributed all over. And they have taken a different strategy with this device over the Xbox Series consoles. The Xbox Series consoles was shipped to limited regions, right? But they shipped in large quantities. That was a huge mistake. Whoever was in charge of that strategic planning and shipping the Xbox Series consoles to these regions, they made a huge mistake. Whereas the PlayStation decided to take the same amount of resources. It's like taking 2 million. Let's say you got 2 to 10 million. Let's say 10 million. 10 million. And you take 10 million and you spread it over 36 regions. It's going to be a thinner amount of consoles that's out there, but you have already established a pipeline to get this bread. Xbox decided to take that same 10 million and only go to 13 regions. Whereas you have a larger amount in certain regions that they felt that was strategic strongholds where they had more there, but in those other regions, they were absent. And when they were absent in those regions, you forced the consumer to purchase those consoles from the competitor, and they established a beachhead, if you will, in these areas. This strategy with this Xbox ROGs or the PlayStation strategy. Place them all over. Get the pre-orders, do all that stuff, and don't have it in one region. Have it in every region. Every store I go to here in Japan has a ROG pre-order list, has an Xbox. They're here. It's here. It's here. It's in every major store. And it's in every major store back home, and it's in every major store across the world. That strategic planning has changed. But me knowing this knows that PC is now merged with Xbox, and Microsoft and Xbox has made this synergy when it comes to these devices. I assumed the moment that Sarah Bond came out and said that Game Pass, because remember, we had Satya tell you Game Pass was sustainable. Sarah reiterated it last week. If she's reiterating it last week, that's letting you know they're at a point right now where we got this much. To continue this level of service, we're going to need this much. Remember that $10 that they was asking for games? They wanted it to go to $80, and they said that coming forward it would be $80 per game, and you guys were fighting to the death. And remember when I said, they're gonna get that money. You made them roll it back. You made them roll back that $10 that they would have put Outer Worlds at $10. So they dropped that price back down to Outer Worlds because dudes fought back. I didn't care because I got Game Pass. As long as you didn't raise the price of Game Pass, I didn't give a damn if the game was $80 because it didn't make a matter to me because I was going to get the game regardless. And that would have actually affected PlayStation guys, Nintendo guys, PC guys, and anybody that was not inside the Xbox ecosystem. Shout out to Avanti 4K with the $5 super chat. Sometimes you got to draw the line and vote for your wallets because if we don't, they're going to raise the price again up to 40 and 50 a month. If you don't think that that thing is a possibility, you're crazy. That is a huge possibility. That's the conversations that we're having here. Now you have a lot of Xbox dudes out here that's telling you a whole bunch of different things, right? They're riding a wave. They're riding a wave to see how you guys are going to rock with them or if you guys are with it or against it. And this is how they script their shows. Are you with it or against it? Because if the groups is with it, then I'm going to go with the groups. Dudes, I'm going to tell y'all now, regardless to what, I'm going to beat to my own drum, right? And I'm going to give you the reasons why my opinion on this is as such. But I have to tell you in how they get to point A from point B and what this stuff looks like. And I have to tell you this because if I don't tell you this, then you guys are going to assume that they just did this on a whim. There's dumb people out there that believe that Microsoft just randomly just comes up with, oh, we're going to change the price of the console today. You got dumb people out there that say, oh, well, Microsoft has just flipped the script every other day. No, this all goes back to the PC connecting strategy of the OEM devices that I've been telling you where they're going. When you buy one universal game, right? And in buying that one universal game, and that game is attractive across the PC, Xbox, and wherever your Xbox ecosystem is. That game is a detriment to a lot of companies, right? But that game costs. So you got to think about it. To compensate all the people that's going to be inside that Play Anywhere program, that if they buy this one game here, they could have possibly had a sale on PC and they could have possibly had a sale on Xbox. But that sale on PC/Xbox is no longer there because that game is universal. Now, you got to make sure that it's attractive to those individuals, those developers, right? So you have to call, if y'all notice that they stopped charging a fee for developers that was developing on the mobile aspect. I want y'all to stay with me here because you have to look at how Microsoft went to the GDC and kind of talked to all developers in making the Xbox and the Microsoft platform, Microsoft Game Studios, the most attractive offer in the world. Doing that is not for free. Dropping that fee is not for free. Somebody's going to pay for that. Y'all know who those somebodies are. We the paying customer. As the paying customer, we are beholden to what strategies that they have. Now, sometimes those strategies pan out and sometimes they don't. But having a successful device that is about to launch in the next couple of days, that is potentially a large amount of new subs. Now remember, when you get your Xbox ROG and your Xbox ROG Ally X, in that box comes 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. That is, at this point, a $90 rebate. Basically. It's just a $90 give back. So whatever the price is of the device, wherever you purchase it, take away $90 because that is them giving you $90 back to get you into the ecosystem so that you're locked in because you're going to put your credit card in so you don't go anywhere. Shout out to Lucky Mo with the $2 super chat. $30 price is for hardcore players. Good luck. I'm out. Facts. Some people don't play like that. Some people don't play games in the manner that they're like that Game Pass is asking. Right? Sometimes you get some of the games, but again, I'm I'm explaining to you when the strategy hit from a Microsoft standpoint, this is no better time than to go now. It's go time now. Right? It's go time now when you have they hyped up Ninja Gaiden so hype. The game is good. The game is good. The game would sell to majority of Xbox owners if it wasn't a Game Pass, right? And the fact that the game is going all over, that game would sell on every platform. So Game Pass guys get that day one. Then you have the Outer Worlds. Then you have Call of Duty. And whatever other titles that they have dropping day one inside Game Pass. That day one tier is the most attractive tier based off of everything that is available to you at that moment. When you look at what's available to you at that moment, I'm a Fortnite dude. I pay for the crew at $12.99 a month. I get the V-Bucks, I buy the skins, I get the battle pass, I get all that stuff. Think about this. The fact that Fortnite is free to play. The fact that Fortnite is on every console, every device, top three most played games is either Minecraft, Roblox, and or Fortnite, or it's Fortnite, Call of Duty, Minecraft, whatever. At any given time, Fortnite never gets out of that rotation of top three. If by chance you can offer more to the Fortnite player that is on your engagement of free to play, and you heard that they have more strategic planning with Epic as far as the Epic Store, what's going on? That has the Epic Store front on your Xbox ROG Ally X, yeah, next OEM Xbox console, because everybody's focusing on Steam. That's the banana in the tailpipe. Pause. Everybody's focusing on Steam. Steam does not have one game that equals the gross income that Fortnite equals. Microsoft has somehow wiggled their way into the life of Epic. We don't know how they did this, but that $10 has more to do with them being the number one place to play Fortnite. I know you're saying, King, you're bugging. Listen to me. As a person who you gotta follow the money. You gotta follow the money. If you don't follow the money, you're gonna be lost here. You have to follow the money. If the top three games and Microsoft owns Call of Duty and Minecraft, the one game that they cannot buy this game from Epic. They cannot get this game from Epic. They can't take it from Epic. How can I be a part of this by making that thing what Fortnite's premium service is the crew. When I found out about the crew, when I'm playing Fortnite, I realized that I get all this stuff. As a Fortnite dude, it made it all the greater. So when I explain to a lot of people, like, oh, you got the battle pass, this, that, and the third, yeah, I get it all the time because I got the crew. Or I get this extra stuff because I got the crew. Because I got this and I got the crew. I got a friend that works over at Epic. Shout out to Bill Stillwell. He's the inventor of the X Cloud, that which is out of beta right now. So X Cloud is out of beta at 1440p at the highest resolution, giving you a 3 to 5 second intake on uh, getting you to matches and getting you to gameplay. It's a vibrant thing now, and I know a lot of people's going to tell me that GeForce Now gives you up to 4K. Yeah, but we're talking about a specs on machines that are actually infinitely lower than anything that can run on a GeForce Cloud. So, again, please don't tell me what Nvidia is doing based off of what Microsoft is doing from a console level, from a console base, from what they're offering. The X Cloud is actually outstanding. If you ever saw the video with Iron Lords and when we was going live and we was doing our community day and you guys came in and a lot of us was streaming Halo multiplayer. It blew my mind. I because I'm not a streaming dude, but again, I got these devices. I'm gonna make it happen. And it gave us the option that day because nobody had Halo on our console. But I'm saying this to say that Fortnite giving you the crew, you have the crew available, and I know that may not speak to a lot of you guys. It may not even be. I know you're saying, why am I paying for Fortnite players? Why do I care? That doesn't affect me. What do you care about? Because I don't care about Call of Duty, but I care as in Game Pass. I care that every time Call of Duty comes out, it's in Game Pass. I don't give a damn about Call of Duty. I care that it's in Game Pass. You know why? Because that gives that service value. They told us that all Activision Blizzard King games will be in Game Pass at some point in time, and every day I'm looking forward to that. We're not even going to talk about those all those games, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, and those games that Phil was talking about revising and bringing back. None of that stuff is in a vacuum. And don't tell me about how they're X amount of $1 trillion company. I have never seen a generous billionaire. Actually, they're the more frugal. I've seen a more generous broke person or a thousandaire than a millionaire. I've seen individuals that don't have that give the most, but I've seen the people that have the most don't give the most. You understand? So us thinking that this corporation that made the money off of our sweat and off our backs is going to give back anything. Nah, I told you early on because everybody said, "Oh, the gravy train is over. Microsoft is no longer giving back." When they had to establish anything, they set up a beachhead on how much money was going to be lost making this Game Pass thing happen. Them spending $80 billion in order to gain ABK was them placing bets on the future of what the consoles would look like. Them not selling consoles but still making the same amount of money as the ones that are selling consoles is based off of compelling software and services that they offer. Compelling software and services will keep them afloat, but it's not going to get them over the top. But the beast of Game Pass is you got to keep feeding it in order to keep it relevant. All those Game of the Year titles that's inside Game Pass, uh, those deals don't come by happenstance, right? Like those deals aren't happenstance. Do I agree with the price hike? No. No, especially if you don't like Fortnite. If you're a Fortnite person, yeah, I agree with it. If you don't care about Fortnite, That is that's detrimental. That's detrimental. If you don't care about all the extras that you see there, that's detrimental. But let me tell you this. See, because right now you're gonna have people because listen, the algorithm is favorable to people that is bashing or discrediting or attacking Xbox and has been like that for a long time. Because the vocal majority or minority or yeah, the vocal majority against the minority is the vocal majority is PlayStation guys that's online. Now, the vocal minority is Xbox guys that's online. You can look at the channels. How many channels is dedicated to PlayStation? How many channels is dedicated to Xbox? And how many channels is dedicated to spinning PlayStation news, even outlets? I see these guys here. I talk to these journalists. And I give those I got to give this because again, we used to go by freedom of speech. We used to go by uh, saying what matters, regardless of whatever the outcome is, based off of your integrity. And a lot of these dudes are frauds. A lot of these dudes are frauds. And a lot of these dudes I can't respect because a lot of these dudes have the same information that I have, and I have a different take. Don't ever let my fandom cloud your judgment of what I'm going to give because if I'm telling you that somebody is wrong on something, I am going to tell you that. But then I'm also going to tell you why they did what they did and how we got to this point. Microsoft was dead last. So it's either this. It's either put all your chips in the middle of the table and go as hard as you possibly can in trying to realize something and make it pop or get out. I've seen so many people want Xbox gone, want Microsoft gone. That's for no good reason. A lot of them is mentally challenged when it comes to the fact that they're smooth brains that get along to get along. Like they say something just because the next person says it, and I understand. I know some people are challenged in that fashion that they need to feel part of something, and then there's a lot of us that don't need to feel part of something that can stand out. The lone wolves, the individuals that feel like they can say something and be okay with whatever transpires after that, right? Those individuals. And I tell you always, it's not easy being green. Watching PlayStation sell you PlayStation Plus for $20 without offering you day and date when Xbox is offering you day and date in their service that was equal in price is atrocious. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to see that they can offer less but ask for the same monetary value and act like they're equal in some form or fashion. It's disgusting the fact that they can place their titles inside their service and remove those titles. You see, when an Xbox game hits Game Pass, a first party Xbox game hits Game Pass, it's never leaving. So, over a period of time, there's going to be thousands of just first party Xbox games inside Game Pass. But at the same time, they have to get day and date other titles. Metaphor. You like Metaphor. You like Expedition 33. You love these games. You love Silk Song. You love these games. Those deals aren't made in a vacuum. But what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the value proposition from console to console. Nintendo will never put their games first party games inside their service. Ever. At what point do you think that stuff would hurt them? It won't hurt PlayStation. I'm serious. It won't hurt PlayStation. I think it actually enhanced it. To be honest with you, I was upset with them. I hate the PlayStation Plus service in the sense that I hardly ever use it. I get it for my son as he uses his PlayStation now and again. Quite more, he uses his MetaQuest. But I'm a person that, out of fear of missing out and making content, because on Frontline Gaming streams, I play my games, which I haven't had a chance to do at all here. I've been playing my Steam Deck and been playing my Switch too since I've been here. But the thought process that Microsoft can't sell, remember, they can't sell hardware because nobody wants Xbox hardware. That is a lie. Nobody wants Xbox games. That is a lie. Game Pass is not sustainable. That is a lie. Them having removable batteries in their devices is not good for the industry. That is a lie. Xbox is getting out of the hardware business. That may be true. $2 super chat. Xbox has to make it worth it, or what's the point? And that's coming from Jax82. Agreed. If the value proposition isn't worth it to you, get out. Cancel. Remove yourself. Stop. Don't go forward. You see how easy that is? Until they do something to get your money, don't do it. You go out to eat, right? Do you go out to eat at restaurants that you don't like or don't want to be there, don't have anything on the menu for you? Listen, I'm a pescatarian. That's like me going to Jimmy's Steakhouse that don't have any seafood options. I'm not spending my money there. Would I? They don't have nothing to offer me. So I would never tell you as a consumer that if something doesn't give you value, that, oh, stay there for the sake of, for what? For who? You owe nothing to nobody. You don't owe nothing to anyone. You're the one that had to get up and go to work. You're the one that had to break your back. You're the one that have to budget your options. You. So if this information comes out, stop. If it doesn't fit you. But I can tell you this. There's a boatload of Fortnite players that's like, what? If I rock with them, this is what I get? And I get 500 games. Listen, let me read the DM. Let me read the DM. Because it's not a DM, it's an email. Where's the email? I think I had the email. Oh, hey, I had the email open yesterday. Um, so again, I guess stuff that I can read, stuff I can't read. All right, so each plan offers unique features and rewards, and now all plans include expanded libraries, access to PC games. The reason why the access to PC games is huge is because, again, they're moving into the hybrid aspect of it. How could they offer you a device, offer you Game Pass, or tell you get Game Pass, but don't offer a PC Game Pass included? It's like, that's the oxymoron. That doesn't make any sense. So you had to revise your tiers in order, before this happened, in order for you to have access to what they feel is the most necessary thing here. Remember, the PC is the most necessary thing is because they're trying to make one universal game that is playable everywhere. Remember that. Like, This is in its infancy. Remember when Game Pass was trash? I'm easy to tell you. I can tell you. I can tell you. The Game Pass was trash. I had Game Pass for like 5 years. Oh, I guess I don't know, like 4 years or whatever, 3 years, whatever. And it was booty. It was not it. It was not it. It was a PlayStation dudes was laughing at us. They was laughing a lot. And then over a period of time, it just started picking up steam. Started picking up steam, and they started dropping them games in there, and they started hit. Now it's at a point now, like you like, what happened with Game Pass? Right? It's at that point, right? But everything has a genesis. Everything has a beginning. Everything has a starting point till it ramps up to the part where you like, yo, regardless of what, it's still the best deal in gaming at this moment, based off of what is available. But let me continue. Unlimited cloud gaming on supported devices now for Essential and Premium. So before, Essential and Premium didn't have access to cloud streaming that was only available for Game Pass Ultimate. They need you to stream. They want you in. This device coming out changes how Xbox is operating. Y'all don't understand how important the Xbox ROG Ally is to their plans in infiltrating that ecosystem and bringing Game Pass with it. They cannot have a tier that does not offer cloud streaming. They cannot. They need to have that offered. Adidas 20, my man, member for 21 months. Yo, your generosity is ridiculous. I appreciate each and every last one of you that are members that have stuck with me this long. Do you do you understand when I started this, what I was looking at and what I seen and the level of acceptance and growth in this? And shout out to J Dub who's in here, my dude. Um, those dudes is not supposed to show up, and they show up and they show out and they show up and they show out for me. I appreciate each and every last one of you. I salute you, Adidas. I salute each and every last one of you for being here because again, it is 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I don't ever be out here this late like this, but it's 10 a.m. over here. This is wild. It's wild. All right. So, in-game benefits across top tiers titles like Riot Games, Call of Duty, Overwatch 2, and newest and new for Essential and Premium. That Overwatch 2 stuff. They don't like the fact, and little birdie told me they don't like the fact that Overwatch 2 is not in the top 3 games. They're gonna make that's a priority. They don't like that Marvel Rivals showed up and is eating lunch. They're going to make Overwatch a priority because a lot of things happen. I'm not an Overwatch player, but a lot of things happen in that Overwatch thing when they went from 1 to 2. And I'm talking off a basis of ignorance, but they want back their crown. For lack of a better word, they want that game to be in top 5 games every month on all platforms. Okay? Expanded rewards program with higher points, exclusive quests, and for premium and ultimate. That's the disingenuous part. Remember when I was clowning on PlayStation for getting rid of the Stars program, and I was talking about I was living high on a hog because I was able to use and exploit the Xbox reward program because I was able to get Game Pass every month and not pay for Game Pass at all. Even though I have a ton of Game Pass backed up from earlier on, and I was just able to just tack on, just keep it there. I don't. I gotta look. I think my thing is up in 28. I think it was 30, but I doubt it's 30. I think it's 28. My Game Pass is up. So I was able to get Game Pass based off of me just playing games. Remember, I was playing Gears Pop. If you look at my Gears Pop information, it's crazy because I was playing Gears Pop so much. I'm so mad that game is gone. Really, be honest with you, I'm so mad that the game is gone. But I was using those points to buy Game Pass, and I told you guys, use your points, buy Game Pass. You don't pay for Game Pass. They cut that. So I was clowning the PlayStation dudes, and they got us. They got us. Come out. They got us. They got us. And Now they're talking about, oh, they're offering so much money. No, 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 no. Out of all that stuff that I see, that is the weakest thing. They do not want you to be able to buy Game Pass with your points. No, they don't want that. They want you in with your dollars. They're gonna give you something back, something to get a DLC. You know, not to get no Game Pass, but maybe you can pick up a DLC. That's it. That's all. So again, for a lot of people, this is harsh news. For a lot of people that was walking around saying, "Oh, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen." Those are the people that project doom and gloomers. I knew, I knew, I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew, 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 I knew. Those I knew guys. And for a lot of others, it's either yay or nay. Like with everything, I thought that the Xbox ROG Ally and Xbox ROG Ally X would come in at a price point of $799 and $499, 500, 800, and technically you're off by 200 based on what the tariff welding psychopaths are doing. You don't want to put out a device and then a month later, i.e., Nintendo, have to raise the price. And they raised the price on the old Nintendo. So you have to give yourself some form of cushion. You can't raise a line the margin when it comes to this because no longer are we in a point where consoles are going down in price. I've never seen anything like this. So, does this strike me as different? Nope. Wherever you see value, you're going to see the price go up. Gucci bags aren't the same price. And just like shout out to you guys that said it, Xbox Game Pass is now a luxury item. Xbox has entered the chat as a luxury item. What does that do to the core? You have to make compelling games. This is going to force Phil and the team to get compelling games. If you're going to ask for a premium price, you must produce a premium product. You must produce a device and a service that is equal to the asking price. That MSRP on those things must show what it's worth. For the most part, everything that I've done so far with these trade shows with the Xbox ROG Ally X, it's living up to the potential that I asked for it because I got a chance to talk to a couple of engineers and stuff like that and a couple of CEOs or whatever before the announcement. That was back at Summer Games Fest. And I didn't get a chance to speak to a lot of them until we got here. And the most of what I got was, hold on, George Parcells with the £5 super chat. I'm kind of disappointed, I can't lie, but I get my value still. I wish they made another tier that does not include Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Plus for less money. I tell you to hold on to your hats and I tell you to sit back, relax, and wait. I'm telling you guys, if this puts you in an angry state, what do you think happens if they lose a bunch of subs? What do you think? Panic, right? Out of that panic, what do you think is birthed from that panic? New tiers. Don't you think some of those tiers would be ad ads included? Don't you think a tier that is probably $5 that has ads might show up? Just let it play out. Vote with your wallet. If you want to cancel, go hard. Cancel and watch. Their lifeblood is your dollar. If you remove your lifeblood from that pool, panic ensues. When panic ensues, desperation sets in. When desperation sets in, action happens. That's the only thing that you need to know. You have to be vigilant in your commitment. Don't flip flop. Don't say you're going to do something and don't do it. Be stern in your decisions. If your decision is to boycott something and your decision is to step away from something based off of what you feel is an atrocity perpetrated against yourself, then continue to keep that stance and continue to keep that whole position until it changes. Then and only then will anyone learn not to mess with you. But you must be strong in your convictions. Oh, Karen, raisin potato salad with the $2 super chat. Still value to me, and I got my Xbox ROG pre-order. Blessings. You see, no one can tell you what you find valuable. Only you can say what is valuable. Now, I told you the only thing that I found in this stuff, and this is direct, right? So a lot of these guys, I can't stand the people that sit at home, don't go out and get the information, don't put out the work for you guys. I really can't stand them. I can't stand the guys that sit home and talk about people and talk about somebody put a tweet and first of all, man should never talk about man, right? That's one. Man should never worry about man, all right? Unless it's to help their brother. Because each and every last one of you is my brothers and sisters. So again, man should never do that. But to each his own. And we go to these shows based off of this, and us being here at this show. And I got to tell you something, us being here at this show gave us direct access to this information prior to release. If you're not in it to win it, you're not in it at all. If you're not accessible, you're reactionary. I tell you, it's a yin and yang to this. The bigger problem to me with this whole thing was the rewards. I thought rewards was bad because it actually affected me. You understand? When they removed the rewards, I wasn't able to do my flim flam how I was able to do it. Remember how I told you how to hustle? Remember when I told you take your Discover card and buy and get the Discover Plus because they have the best rewards back and the cash back for you, and that's how I would get my games. Then I tell you how to you pay your mortgage, you pay your light, you pay your car, you pay everything through that. Shout out to the King Salami. Welcome to Soldier S rank. I salute you, Soldier. Remember how I told you how to do that hustle? And then every month when you do that, you're going to get back $100. You're going to take that $100 to buy your games. Or you could buy gift cards. Then you could buy your Game Pass. So you could stack like that. And remember what I was telling you during the holidays? I would go and purchase with that Discover card. And I would go to GameStop because they would give you the extra $5. And I would get that extra $5. But they had the discount. And I was breaking it down on how to do it. And how you was actually getting an extra $30. Understand, on this channel, I'm going to teach you how to save the most money and get the most out of your dollar based on the fact that I understand more than anybody how your time is worth more than any amount of money in the world. These companies know that. So locking you into this revolving food tray, if you will, of Game Pass to keep you sedimentary and focused on what they're doing is their primary goal. Because when Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, told you engagement was the one true metrics, he wasn't lying. Because engagement is your time. Your money is valuable, yes, but engagement above all is priority. And if you remove your money from them, that means you remove your engagement from them, because your engagement brings the data in which they can attract you and find out what's your likes and what's your dislikes. Your time is the value. You trade your time daily, every day, for monetary gain, to go buy material items and to use those material items to satiate whatever endorphins that you have to get from that. Remember, if it doesn't fit you, don't cry about it. Just stop it. So if this Game Pass thing does not work for you, cancel. If this Game Pass thing does not sit well with you, cancel. If this Game Pass thing is not what you expected or not what you wanted to hear, and that was the last straw, cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. But if it does work for you, let it be known. If it is of value to you, show out. If it is something that you was looking forward to, buy, 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 buy. Because nobody can tell you what your time and what your engagement is worth. Only you. So you're going to see a lot of these channels telling you what they suggest you do. I suggest you to have independent thought and be an individual and make your own decisions and don't follow the crowd, because following the crowd is going to lead you someplace that you don't want to be, because if you wanted to be there, you would have went there yourself. But this is Xbox Frontline News. Whoa, wait a second. We have Matt G with the $5 super chat. Great show, King. Make online gameplay free on console and watch the subscriptions drop like flies. Hmm. You said make online gameplay free on console and watch the subscriptions drop like flies. Oh, because they have to pay for online, and you feel that that's the reason why that they're locked in. That's a deep concept. That's a deep concept. I don't think that they ever do that. Remember when I was telling you that I didn't think they was going to get past gold, or how they was going to eliminate gold? That's a lot of bread. That's a lot of money that they get through gold. I don't know how that's ever removed, because you have to reconcile that with the PC people. That's why Game Pass PC was so low. I say this. I say this, guys. They're going to be scrambling, scraping, and they're going to see after the first game, one of the first titles. I don't know if what is it Ninja Gaiden first, or is it Outer Worlds? I think it's Outer Worlds 2 was out first before Ninja Gaiden. I know Call of Duty multiplayer beta comes out today. It's today, right? Is the second? Today's the second, right? Well, it's the second for me. I don't know what it is for you. It's the second. So in the States, and today's Ghost of Yode Day. I gotta go and pick up Ghost of Yode with Yen in Japan. Um, Somebody told me it's region locked. Don't buy that crap. I hope I'm able to change the. I hope it's not region locked. I'm gonna have to Google it first, because I don't like to buy digital on PlayStation at all because of what happened with my account. But we're gonna see what the numbers look like with Game Pass on these first couple of games in this tight cluster. We're gonna see what it looks like, because you got to think about it. They already leveraged How many units? Let's say it's 2 million units that they mass produce on the Xbox ROG and Xbox ROG Ally X, right? Let's say their purchase order is 2 million. Let's say the initial batch of 200,000 is sold out. The initial batch of 200,000 being sold out, that's 200,000 new subs to Game Pass because you have Game Pass inside the box. So the projections from and that's paid because that's rolled into the price. Remember that $200 margin I told you was for Game Pass and that was for the Xbox ROG Ally. They're giving you back 90. And shout out to Tariff Boy, whatever funkiness he does. That's that's kind of in the thought process. So you can have an explosion of Game Pass subs on the 16th. An absolute explosion, pause, of Game Pass subs on the 16th that if only 2% of those subs stay, no matter who leaves the ecosystem, remember, we are the minority. We are the vocal minority. A lot of people don't understand what's going on. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people's on recurring payments, they put the credit card in and they don't know. They just got Game Pass. We are a very chosen few that know everything that is in the zeitgeist, knowing what's happening from moment to moment. Remember this. All right, so don't think the whole world knows this. They're out. They don't. A lot of people head down, don't know what goes on unless told, right? And they gotta ask about it, right? So don't assume, but know this: that those initial 200,000 sold units from the Xbox ROG and Xbox ROG Ally X, those units come with Game Pass in the box. Those are, if you don't have Game Pass already, let's just say majority of those people do have Game Pass or don't. Let's just say 50%. So let's just say it's 100,000. 100,000 people don't have Game Pass. Well, 100,000 people will have Game Pass that day. So you say, let's say out of all of us, let's say at least 10,000 quit the service. Well, they got 50,000 to cover you, 100,000 to cover you. It's not no loss. They played the numbers game. They figured out announcing now before the largest influx of Game Pass subs based off of the devices that has already been pre-ordered is going to happen, along with the largest lineup or the best lineup that they can release this year, because this year is about to come to a close. With the eve of Call of Duty, with the Call of Duty beta going live, I'll tell you right now, not one of you guys that play Call of Duty left Game Pass. Because that Game Pass that Game Pass Ultimate allows you to play Call of Duty beta today. There's a reason why all of this stuff happens how it happens. Stop thinking everything is done in a vacuum. Stop assuming that they don't understand how it works. They have greater, smarter minds than all of us. They have their AI to have these projections. This wasn't something that was on a whim. It never is. These are things that are thought about months and years in advance. But again, I'm always going to tell you, as a consumer, it's very easy for somebody to tell you to vote with your wallet. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that because this is your time here. You understand? You don't get that back. No matter what, you don't get that back. You can get money back tenfold. From today to tomorrow, you can become a billionaire. Easy. It'll happen. But you know what that billionaire didn't get back? What he will give up at any point in time, he or she would give up at any point in time when they're at the end of their life? More time. That's why you can't put a value on your time. Is Game Pass worth your time? Not your money, your time, your investment, your engagement. Remember that. Don't ever let nobody reduce what is your highest commodity, your time. You only use your time on things that you feel is worth it. So don't ever let anybody reduce your time to a number, all right? A cash number. Don't do that because that lowers your value. Don't lower your value to a number. A number, no. Your time is invaluable because when you need it the most, when you want it the most, there's no limit on what it will cost. You will give up everything for more time. But this is Xbox Frontline News. And dude said the rise of the evil empire was upon us. I told people Xbox New World Order was initiated. That's why that merch is in stores. The Xbox New World Order, the XNWO, that's a real life thing. I told you they was going to switch up, change up, and control everything in the drop of a hat. When you got money of that magnitude, you can change positions quickly. You can set forth plans that globally changed everything. I said that Microsoft would love to buy Fortnite. The FTC would never allow that. The CMA would never let that happen. They did something more insidious. They took out what was the most valuable aspect of Fortnite and made it part of what they consider their premier tier inside their service. So again, if you're looking at the aspect of the cheapest tier, which is $9, $9 Game Pass, $14.99 Game Pass. The $30 only applies to individuals that want day and date and want all the perks that go along with that. Don't let that go past your head either. Don't let anybody trick you out of your position. Just go down to a lower tier. If that tier doesn't fit your liking, go down. But this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And if my catchphrase has something to do with Game Pass, I'm going to have to switch that catchphrase up. Because I want to do what you guys are able to do that I cannot do. And that is try to play the premium Game Pass. On God and them, this is different. But let's get that intro or that outro before I boogie. Xbox is a luxury brand like Hermes, like Gucci, like Fendi and Prada. It's different.
What's a man or a king? To the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game, but what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talking, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game, but what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Said what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted.